about recent Fujifilm updates or new products, new things, new releases. What can I say? Honestly, I don't care about YouTube. This compensation. I'm looking at much bigger compensation. So for me, YouTube is like small pennies. So what can I say? Without thinking about compensation, just my honest review. Okay, I have this lens. So here you go. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Watch this one. Here this is 56. Okay. You might say it's not recent. That's correct. It's not recent. There's nothing recent about that. Why do you show it's not recent? Why do I need to show recent? Not everything recent is the best. So let me show you this one. Take a look. I have this and I have the lens. 56. Take a look. 1.2. 1.2. 56, 1.2. Why I show 1.2? Because recently there is no recent 1.2. Let me tell you this way. 1.2 for 56 to have this depth of field on wider lens, it should be 1.0 or even less. So it depends on how you look. It depends on releases, whatever. Not everything new is like the best. Yeah, they have new, they have this, that. But do you need or not? Okay, now, I don't want to waste your time. I just tell my opinion. I did finish New York Institute of Photography and some of New York Institute of Technology for master's degree. But anyway, what can I say about recent things came out? I think my personal opinion, the before it was like XH1. Okay, now it was like XH2 and then XH2S. Honestly, that XH2S, that's what attracted me. I mean, if I don't care about YouTube or anything, I'm looking at bigger money. That's what really attracted me. 2S. Why? Because the main thing is XH2S, that's known as professional camera. I had Canon before professional. Normally for professional they put two processors. They don't put one processor. So I do like two processors. Now, if they have like 26 megapixels, that doesn't stop me. I'm not looking at 40 megapixels for crop sensors because it's not about pixels always. It's not always. Sometimes professional camera like with 20 megapixels, the output the final picture look better than 50 megapixels. I don't know. It's not everything about the pixels. There is more to it. So anyway, I do like XH2S. Now there is a question about new lenses. It was like 18 1.4. There is like one big concern for many people, I guess. 18 1.4, and they're talking about documentary, all this blah 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 blah. Yes, 18 1.4 for documentary if you use HD, if you don't use 4K, because for documentary it's like kind of like in cell phone, 28 millimeters, the degree of the 28 millimeters lens. It was kind of popular and it's common. Now it's not always, because for interviews it was common like some bigger ones. Like suppose if I have HD, if for establishing shot and for many shots I have like equivalent of 28, which is Fujifilm 18 1.4, that's for HD. Then I use 56 for like like corporate conversation or explanation or interviews. So I would choose that one. Just two lenses. Well, to show to people, you don't choose portrait 56. You would choose like equivalent of 50 millimeters. That's how, if you want to stay with primes, that's how I would go. So if 50 millimeters is like what? Whatever they have, 35 crop sensor. Now that one again, I'm talking about HD. Now if I decided to make movie for 4K, everything 4K, establishing shot, talking, corporate shots, conversation, questions, whatever, all in 4K, with my goal to have like equivalent, suppose 28 millimeters for establishing shot, and I have like for two people I choose like equivalent 15 millimeters, and for for the single shots interview is like a portrait lens. Now if I use 4K I need to reduce everything. So there is 16 1.4, so I would need to reduce 18 to 16. So I don't need 18. Yeah, for photography is fine. Photography, street photography, night photography, whatever, yeah, it's fine. 18 came out, it's fine. But I don't need it because I need to make video with 4K equivalent to your 18, but because the factor, whatever is 1.17 or whatever, because of the factor I need to reduce on the millimeters of length. So for let's say establishing shot, I would use 16 1.4. In 4K would make kind of 28 millimeters. Now if I want equivalent 55 or 50 millimeters, then I would need to reduce 35 to something less, or it would look a little bit more. It would look more. You could multiply. You could use your cell phone calculator. So if you have 35 and you multiply by 1.5 and then multiply by 1.17, it would give you like way above 50. So for two people you would use way above 50. Now if you have 56 millimeters like I have for portrait with 4K, you would need to multiply again 1.17 whatever factor. So you expect your portrait or video corporate single shot, like suppose question answer but single shot to each person, it would look more than portrait. Expect that. Is that what you want? Yes or no? If yes, okay, then yes. But if not, then you would need to step down. You don't need 56. You might need to consider some other lenses. And but other lenses could be a problem because 56 has like 1.2. You can step down to like 1.4 or 2, make it a little bit sharper, and you can have that background separation. So in case of if you wanna go with lower one to match the 56 for 4K, it means it should be lower than 56. But then aperture, can you find aperture like close to 1.2, 1.42? Probably not. So you would end up in having basically no portrait look in 4K if you go with 56. Well, some people shoot portrait on 200, full frame 200. So I assume that's okay. So to me, it's okay 56 for like single shot, like suppose there is a tag, question tag, corporate, what they call it, corporate interview. So for me, okay, it's fine. Because I know some even shoot on 300, a full frame 300. Certain weddings or certain football players or certain people, they shoot on 300 and 200 but low aperture. So if I cannot find any low aperture, to me it's okay. I use 56, but in my mind it should be like it's above 56. It's above, which is normal. So I would be like going with those people who do portraits with bigger millimeters lenses. So now Fuji came out with 18 for 14K, no, for 4K, 18. It would be like around 30, even more, 32 whatever millimeters. Do you want to shoot your video into that angle? Some okay, like some say for people shooting 30 millimeters, like full frame equivalent, that's okay. Something 28 maybe is pushing too much. With 32 you don't get too much, but I mean too much of the scene, too much of the location, but it's kind of more like 32 is like it's wider than normal. So if if for instance I have establishing shot for like, I use 16 1.4, but then I feel like I need something kind of more separate, not too much of wide angle, then it's okay. I think it's okay. 18, put 18 for video, which would be like 32 millimeters. It would be like me shooting on 32. It's like I'm reducing wide angle. It's just tucked between two people. Maybe in that case I don't even need equivalent of 50 millimeters. So, but if I want, it's in some cases 50 millimeters equivalent, then I should choose like 35 but less, counting 4K factor. So I mean, it depends on your budget, what you like, but to me, for video, 18 millimeters is not really what they say. Like some say 18 millimeters is documentary. Yeah, if you shoot HD, but if you shoot 4K, it's not documentary. It's documentary would be 28 millimeters equivalent, but with 4K, 18 becomes 32. It's not really documentary. So 16 millimeters would be documentary. 16 1.4 in 4K would be documentary. But the other ones, it's not real documentary. I would put them like for two people, like two people talking. After establishing shot, I would put like 18 for two people, and then like individual people, if you want like portrait look, I would use 56 1.2. That's what I can say. So I think personally, I think I have XH1 and I have XH2, but I do like XH2S because X2S, it has like that new CF card, which is a faster processing saving card, so your camera will not stop. And then I do like the what they call rolling shutter. I've seen rolling shutter for XH2 and XH2S. So 2 versus 2S rolling shutter is way different. Rolling shutter means you move from left to right and back, and then if you have like, if the pole was straight, it became like with the angle. That's a rolling shutter kind of distortion. So I do like 2S, the rolling shutter. I think for like, definitely for like shooting like cars, or like say like in Daytona Beach they have this competition for Daytona cars. That would be number one thing to worry about, the rolling shutter. So I would choose like 2S. And then not only that, if there is any fast action like boats or yachts or surfboards or anything fast, it's rolling shutter. So I would choose 2S. I don't mind $500 more. And then pixels 40. I don't care about 40 because normally professional photographers, they choose like, suppose like Nikon or Canon, and they don't go to the highest pixels. But there are certain things beside the pixels which make certain image look professional. So I like to have my image look professional, not just the count of pixels. So what else I think about new Fujifilm updates? I think they have new lens, kind of new lens, which is like wide angle. It looks like a bubble on the front, which you cannot put the filter. I had before like a Sigma like that. Those lenses are very good for like if you have a job for like real estate. You have that bubble. You cannot put filter. Yeah, but in reality, like when you shoot real estate, you don't need filters. Really, some people are talking about, oh, I cannot put like this filter or that filter because I'm shooting the landscape. Well, for landscape maybe, but for real estate you don't need any filters because you don't need polarizer. You don't need any filters. You just open the cap and you shoot. Now, if you shoot 4K, that bubble looking kind of lens actually would be less. Actually, for real estate videos, I believe that Fuji with the front, the lens round that you cannot put the filter on. I think that one is one of the best for real estate video. Like if you choose 4K especially, because for 4K, every time you need to go with those, crop, all those factors, different crop factors, and have 4K factors, So basically, you end up in like, yeah, that's a good kind of angle. You might get like 20 millimeter equivalent or 18. You don't want to be less than that for the real estate, because for the real estate you need to show walls, you need to show the you need to show the area, and if your lens cannot show the whole room, it's a problem. You need to shoot like one wall, second wall, third wall. Then people should make in their mind something. I don't really like that idea of making for people to understand out a few shots about one room. I like lens that can cover like all walls, left to right and top and bottom. So, and then if you have like 4K, then I think that lens is called 8 to 16 or something. I've seen some people, blah, blah, blah. Now, to me, honestly, for 4K, I think that's one of the best ones. That's what I would choose for 4K real estate video. Or maybe even less. If I multiply all this, 8 by, let's say, 1.5, so it's 12 and 1.7. Yeah, that's a starting point. Maybe a little bit. Well, it depends. But you see, the thing is, that bubblish look, I have a program, it's called DxO or something. You can change that bubblish look to more okay. Those lines. But if you cannot cover all those walls, cannot show it in the picture, the room, that could be a problem. So what you're gonna show is part of the room. So I think that lens is pretty good. What else can I say? Ventilation. They have some kind of new ventilation that you cannot touch. I honestly do not look at Fujifilm as a professional video camera. Like for own kind of reasons, to go on vacation, shoot 4K videos, that's fine. Now, if I shoot, like, suppose I go to Costa Rica, because my cell phone, like for instance, I have iPhone. Sometimes my cell phone is out of nothing. In California, saying it's too hot because of certain angle and certain degree. It's too much light, I guess, or sunlight on my cell phone, and it's too hot, and I need to wait. Well, maybe it's a good idea. I mean, if I go with my camera to Costa Rica, or maybe suppose some kind of fishing boat, people are fishing, but there is a lot of sun. Yeah, there is wind, but there is a lot of sun. So I don't want to kind of stop. I might get, it depends on orders. If somebody is telling me, okay, come and shoot this event, but I know they're in Costa Rica, yeah, I might get that ventilation. I don't care about the screen. For the screen, honestly, based on what I see, if I'm in Costa Rica, I would need to put like a certain cover for the screen, because it might be too much light to see anything there. So if I have certain cover, kind of like umbrella looking, if I have umbrella looking, kind of size of that ventilation, kind of make all together, nothing sticks out. Maybe that umbrella holding the flip screen. I think it's okay. I would probably change to something. But anyway, I think, like in general, I think Fujifilm released 1.4, that's what I like, for like street photography, like especially at night, like at night. Suppose I go to Spain and we eat paella or we drink beer. It's a lot of, like, they drink beer like after 8 o'clock. After 8 o'clock, not so much sunlight. So, but we just want to take pictures of our party, I guess. Beer, paella party. So I think that's, and at the same time, like, it should be wide angle. It should cover pretty good. It should not be like too much close, you know. So I think that would be a pretty good lens, actually, for photography. Now for 4K, I don't think it's enough. I would probably step down to 16. And then ventilation at night, you don't need ventilation, but if you shoot like marlin or yellowfin tuna fishing competition in Costa Rica or somewhere in southern Mexico, I don't know, maybe you need to have that kind of ventilation. That's all I can say. Have a nice day, bye.